What an epic way to start 2025. So I have 1 mile of charge left because I left to get body work today. And when I got to the charging station, because I was going to charge beforehand, it was full and I wasn't going to make it in time. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go and I'm going to YOLO it. It said I was going to make it. I got here with 11 miles left on my battery, which I know is not a lot, but the nearest charging station was 3 miles away. So I was like, dude, it's cool. I'm still gonna make it. I'm gonna be fine. And then I get back in the car and I only have 3 miles left. And then I had to decide, like, which direction am I gonna go to charge my car? And maybe I chose wrong, but yeah, I don't have enough charge to get by, so I have to get my car towed to the charger. Yes, let's go. But anyways, I made it a goal to make 52 YouTube videos this year. First video I was going to make was going to be setting goals for 2025, making actionable steps to achieving them. But basically I was going to show them how I set my goals this year. Hopefully you can use the same framework, breaking it down from long-term goals to short-term goals so that there's something that's actually actionable that you can do and it's more achievable. And yeah, let's just get into it. So goal number one for the year, getting shredded again. Gonna start hitting the gym more. I've been doing a lot of slacking, a lot of running. So I'm gonna get shredded. Gonna be a bodybuilder again, a little bit. I'm gonna train with Jason while he's getting ready for the Arnold. So the second goal that I have for this year, 2025, is going to be running a marathon. Running is not really my thing. I've never liked running, really. I would run for sports because I had to be able to play the sport, but just running has never been my thing. But I've decided 2025 is going to be the year of growth, meaning I'm going to do a bunch of things that challenge me and make me super uncomfortable and force me into growth. And they also have a purpose, right? Like running is great for you, health, longevity. I have a son now and I want to make sure that I'm in shape, one, to set a good example for him, but two, to be in shape to beat him at literally everything for as long as I possibly can. So as of now, I think I'm going to do the LA Marathon. Like I said, I'm not much of a runner, but it is a very short prep for this. I started about 11 weeks out of the LA Marathon, and usually you want to have a little bit longer of a run. So 2 days ago, I ran my longest run ever, which was 6 miles. So just got to add 20 miles on top of that. But that is going to be my second goal. Abu. 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 My third goal is going to be to improve on my Hyrox time from last year. So last year on December 7th, I think it was, I did my first Hyrox. If I'm being honest, I trained for it in the beginning, right? So maybe like 16 weeks out, I was, taking it pretty serious, but then my wife gave birth to our son. He's 4 months old right now. So if I'm being honest, I trained for it. I was training for it hard initially, right? Like I was working out. I have a lot of the stuff downstairs in the garage. So I have like a skier, a rower, and some other things. And I was running outside in the summer. It was nice, it was beautiful. But then my wife gave birth, right? My son was born on August 28th. And initially I still kept training hard because, he's a newborn, he was sleeping a lot. So I had the time to go out. And then the last 2 months of the year, I kind of didn't, I purposely fell off training. I wasn't training as much. I wanted to spend time with him. He was growing so fast. So the last month before, like the last 5-6 weeks before I did the Hyrox, I wasn't really training. So I didn't push myself as much during the race. It was kind of like, hey, just finish, don't throw up, don't hurt yourself kind of thing, which is unfortunate because actually the very first turn of the Hyrox, one of the guys that was in my group, he rolled his ankle, so that sucks. Sorry for him. My third goal would just be to improve on my time. I got 1:45. Realistically, I could have easily gotten 1:30. I was just kind of holding back to make sure that I could finish the race and not hurt myself. My fourth fitness goal is also a bit of a maybe, but it would be to potentially step on stage again. So this one is a little bit out of my control in the sense that if I don't look good enough, I haven't really trained to be a bodybuilder in a few years. I'm not gonna go up on stage and embarrass myself. But I wanna be shredded enough and in a position to say, if I look good enough, I'm gonna go do this. So I'm not fully committing to this one, but I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure that if I do think, if I get shredded and I'm like, hey, this is possible, I'm not gonna embarrass myself, I'll still look respectable, then I'm gonna do it. It sounds kind of like sandbagging and giving like a fake goal, but if I do look good enough, I will go on stage and it'll be different from before, right? So before, my intention was, hey, I'm going to the Olympia, I wanna win this show, I wanna be the best. And I'm not saying I don't want to do well or be the best, but I know just realistically, like I'm not doing everything that everybody else does. And I don't live and breathe bodybuilding like I used to. So for me to expect to beat everybody and go to the Olympia, like that's not realistic. But if I look respectable and I look like I can be competitive, I'm 100% down to go and do a show. One, just because it'd be cool to do. It'd be fun to get back up there. And I think for me, getting back on stage, it would be really to know that this may be the last time, right? The last time that I competed, I didn't know that it was gonna be the last time. I didn't enjoy it maybe as much as I could have because I put so much pressure on myself. But this time, I think it'd be cool. Like I have my son and he's not gonna know what's going on, but like he could watch, and just knowing that it will be my potentially last time and just enjoying it in that sense, I think would be fun. Especially, I just don't want to do that if I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. So there's a lot of IFBB Pro natural shows that I can do potentially this year. So as long as I look respectable, that'll be goal number 4. Goal number 5 is 52 YouTube videos this year. So some of them are probably not going to be that good. And hopefully by the end of the year, there's 52 or more videos and we're a lot better. And then the 6th goal is one that I failed last year, but it is to read 20 books. So I did 75 hard like 2 years ago or something like that. And I found that reading the books, reading the 10 pages a day was something that I enjoyed more than I thought. I was never much of a reader, but I did learn a lot and I felt like that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna implement that and I'm gonna make sure that I nail that 20 books this year. So how am I gonna hit those goals? How are you going to hit your goals, your New Year's resolutions, your fitness goals, or whatever goals that you have for yourself? And the answer is you take your goal and you make short-term goals that are process goals. So instead, if you make it more process driven, your goal is to be doing the things that are part of the process of achieving the ultimate goal that you want. If you do those things, right? If you meal prep, if you weigh yourself, if you train consistently, and you're not straying from those things, you can always make adjustments and you will eventually get to your goal, right? But if you're just saying, I'm gonna lose 5 pounds, how are you gonna lose 5 pounds? There's nothing that you are there's nothing that you have that's actionable and specific enough for you to say, I know what to do, these are the things that I gotta do. And so when you make your goals process driven, it becomes much easier to achieve the actual goal. So basically, using the weight example, right? If I know that I want to lose 20 pounds, if I do all of the things that it takes to lose the 20 pounds, I'm gonna lose the 20 pounds at some point, right? It's like, it makes no sense that I would not, right? And it's like, if I want to run a marathon, if I run 5 days a week and I'm increasing the intensity, right? I'm adjusting it to make sure that I can hit the 26.2 miles eventually. Like at some point, if I run all the time, I'm gonna be good enough to run 26.2 miles and run a marathon. So the best way to achieve these big goals that you have is to have the big goal, create shorter term goals, and then make actionable items based on that. And so what do I mean by that? Making these process goals and these actionable items is thinking, what is the big thing that I want, right? In a year from now, where do I see myself? What am I celebrating? Who am I celebrating with? Using the power of visualization. Let's just say, for example, I'm celebrating having lost 40 pounds, right? With all of my friends, I'm at a restaurant that I love because we're celebrating that I've lost the 40 pounds that I've been trying to lose for the last 10 years. And then we break that up, right? If I'm trying to lose 40 pounds within the next 12 months, that means every 3 months, I'm trying to lose 10 pounds, which seems much more reasonable, right? When you think about 40 pounds, you're like, damn, 40 pounds is a lot. 10 pounds in 3 months is pretty good. That's under a pound a week, right? And now you know you need to lose 10 pounds in the next 90 days. So what are the actionable items that are process goals that will get you there, right? So if we break it down, what can I do in the next 24 hours that would set me up to lose that 10 pounds? What about the next 48 hours, 72 hours, the next week, the next 2 weeks, right? And you start making these little goals that you know are things that you have to do in order to lose 10 pounds eventually. And you make sure that it's an actionable item that you put into your schedule and you give yourself a date to do it by, right? So what would that look like? So in the next 24 hours, if I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 12 weeks, right? I might say in the next 24 hours, I'm going to sign up for a gym. In the next 48 hours, I'm going to figure out through an online calculator or whatever, how many calories and how much protein I need to be eating. In the next 72 hours, I'm going to make a meal prep list of the foods that I need to buy from the grocery store. That way I'm planning out, and then the 4th day, I'm going to go to the grocery store. And then the 5th day, I'm going to meal prep all of my foods. And then the next week, I'm going to hit my workouts, right? And so you're just adding on these steps that you need to take in order to achieve your goal, and you're putting them in your schedule. So instead of thinking of this big goal that is obviously going to be very far away from you if you're shooting for a large, for a reasonably big goal, which you should be, right? And you're breaking it down into small steps. Instead of saying, I'm going to be fast one day, or I'm going to lose 40 pounds one day, I don't know how, you're creating these action steps that you can take, and it will make you feel more comfortable in saying, the only thing that I got to do today is do what I put on that list. And if I can do that, I know I'll be one step closer to my goal. And once you build on that, then you're all good, because if you do all the things that you need to do in order to lose 10 pounds, right, you will eventually lose the 10 pounds. And if not, right, then maybe there's a little tweak that you need to make in your strategy, but the habits that you need are already there. And that is much easier to adjust, right? Adjusting strategy is much easier than changing your whole lifestyle, which most people have trouble with. So building off from there is easier. But all of that to say, those are my New Year's goals. Those are my New Year's resolutions. Those are my big plans for 2025. And hopefully you have New Year's goals of your own and you feel more comfortable setting a plan, getting there. And if you made it through the whole video, I appreciate you. I know this video probably was not the greatest, but hey, I said I was gonna make 52 videos, and I'm starting with this one right here. And if this was helpful for you, let me know. And if you have New Year's resolutions and goals that you have for the year that you've been thinking about the entire video, that you've been listening to me ramble, put them in the comments below. I could have put them in the comments below. I would love to know, what are your New Year's goals? And maybe we'll keep each other accountable. Who knows? But if your goal is fitness related, you want to lose weight, you want to build muscle, you want to build that lean, healthy body that you've always wanted, and you want some help doing it, feel free to fill out the application in the link below. I'll personally reach out to you, talk to you about your goals, see if this is something that I can even help you, see if this is something that I could even help you with. And if it's something, obviously, hopefully you would want help if you fill out that application. But we'll have a talk about your goals, and we'll see if we can get you there. But thanks for tuning in.